And you wouldn't even get to see those swivel hips that shook up the world because it would cause an earthquake. So we said, leave that idea alone. Don't name a mountain after him. Someone said, why don't we build a building after him? But you know, if they built a building after him, it would have no roof or ceiling, because there's no ceiling hold enough, that's tall enough, that could just hold the praise that we give to him. The floors wouldn't be strong enough to hold the weight of all the people from around the world who would want to go into that building. And it wouldn't have any walls, and this is the greatest thing about Elvis. The building wouldn't have any walls because Elvis, instead of separating us, he brought us all together through his voice. So we gave up that idea of naming a building after him. Finally, somebody came along and said, let's just name a stamp after him. When you stop to look at a stamp or an envelope, the stamp is the smallest thing on there. The envelope is much larger than the stamp. But you ever stop to think it's not the writing that makes that envelope go somewhere, that package move? It's not the kind of seal that you have on the back of it that's important. It's that one little stamp. It's that one little stamp that takes us across the seas, across the mountains, around the world. One little stamp right there in its corner. One man making a big, big difference, not merely in his hometown, but around the world. And that's why it's so befitting to name a stamp after Elvis. In his own way, he took the magic of Memphis all around the world, just one man. And it's so befitting that it's with the Postal Service, because as the slogan goes, neither rain, nor snow, nor blizzard, nor the dark of night will keep him from making his appointed rounds. Elvis is still making his rounds, bringing us together all over the world. Long live the King. Thank you, and may God bless you all.
Now, our next speaker is someone we know Elvis Presley would have loved, because he used to be the sheriff of Shelby County. We know that Elvis loved to play cop on occasion, and of course, Elvis loved and supported our law enforcement officials. And our next speaker has dedicated his life to the service of Shelby County as sheriff and now mayor. Please welcome Shelby County Mayor Mark Luttrell.
Well, good morning, and certainly I echo Jack's comments about what a wonderful crowd this is. But Jack, what's amazing is you have just as big a crowd in January when it's cold and rainy. It just shows certainly the commitment and the dedication that Elvis fans have worldwide. You know, in life, Elvis never forgot Memphis. And Priscilla, in his passing, you've never forgotten Memphis. So thank you so much for your continued commitment to Memphis and the legacy of the great Elvis Presley. And I would venture to say that when I look at the crowd here, that there are many of you that have been here on numerous occasions over the years. There might be a few of you that are first-time attendees at events like this, but you have remembered Memphis and you have remembered Elvis. Whether you think about rock and roll, gospel, hillbilly, gospel, all of the above, jazz, in each of those genres, you can think about Elvis Presley, because he contributed in some way to all of those genres of music. And the inspiration that he's had on so many artists even today who try to emulate in some way the greatness of Elvis Presley, none have been able to do it exactly his way. And isn't that amazing? So it is fitting that we gathered today to really honor him once again. And General Brennan, we appreciate so much the Postal Service in this gesture. Very few great people can claim to have two stamps in their name. A few presidents Not too many musical artists, but Elvis Presley is. And I think it's because he's more than just a musician. He's iconic in so many ways. The impact that he's had on fashion, the impact that he's had on music, the impact that he had on culture, all significant in ways other than just the great voice that he exhibited. So for all of you that are here this week to enjoy the events surrounding Elvis Week, thank you for coming to Memphis. Mayor Wharton and I appreciate your hotel motel taxes. They go a long way toward helping in a lot of ways. I know Councilman Collins is over here counting it, because anything we can do out here helps Whitehaven, Councilman Collins. But we do appreciate and welcome you all coming to town to celebrate with us this great, great citizen who never forgot where he came from. Memphis, Tennessee, Elvis Presley, music, and you. God bless you, and thank you so much for being here.
Without our next guest, Memphis, Tennessee could be a very different city today. Her entrepreneurial spirit led to the doors of the Presley family home being opened for public tours. It was a difficult decision, but it gave birth to the tourism industry in this town, which today employs over 50,000 people across the city and county. That day in June of 1982, nearly over 19 million people have walked through that front door of that home. Quite an accomplishment. And just this year, it was named America's most iconic landmark by the readers of USA Today. Please welcome a steward of the Elvis legacy, Priscilla Presley.
Thank you, Kevin. Welcome, everybody. My gosh, Jack, you were right. I'm looking out here thinking, geez, this is amazing to have everyone show up on these very special days, and the stamp is one of them. Very, very special. I first want to say my daughter Lisa could not make it today. She is actually out of the country. She sends her regards and thanks you all as well for being here with all your support. And on behalf of all of my family, we thank you and welcome you here to Elvis's Graceland. I have to say that I've been through some pretty iconic occasions here, but one that reads my mind today, because we're here to celebrate the stamp, was when we were standing out in front of the front door, Elvis and I, when the street name, the name of the street was changed. It was, I remember when I would mail my letters to him, was 3764 Highway 51 South. And that's what it always seemed to be and was until a very special day in 1968 when they renamed the street Elvis Presley Boulevard. And Elvis was standing out there and he said, "My own street, my very own street." So now what does that mean? I can now start taking down all this stuff across the street, around the way. Of course, having the sense of humor that he had. So he was honored and he was so privileged to have a street, not even a street, it's a, what do you call it? It's a boulevard. A boulevard, you know, named after him. And as you know, he loved Graceland, but to have a stamp named after him, not just once in 1993, but twice, here we are in 2015. I'll never forget how we all felt and the excitement when it was announced that we were having a stamp for him at that time. Everyone was just so excited, and we thought, wow, this couldn't be better. But now the second stamp, not only is it his second stamp, but the first stamp was actually the most popular U.S. commemorative stamp of all time, and still is today. So let's make this one that too, right? But I just, wanted to share some of the stories with Elvis and how humble he was and how he would truly, truly have appreciated this, still not believing that he would have his photo or his image on a on the stamp. It's kind of surreal. And I thank you so much, Postmaster General Brennan. The stamp is so well thought out. It's so beautiful. I love all the details. I mean, to the crown, you know, it's very discreet, but you get it. And I think it's so appropriate that it's named the Forever Stamp, because as you know, Elvis Presley will be forever in our hearts, to not just all of us here, but to millions of fans and people all over the world. So I thank you very, very much for this great honor for him. And enjoy it, everyone, and use it. I mean, it's forever, right? Thank you, thank you.
As we mentioned, projects is If I Can Dream, Elvis Presley with the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra, a new album featuring classic Elvis hits with a new arrangement, but still his original vocal, and this album's being released on October 30th of this year. But offering a sneak peek of sorts at one of the tracks from the new album, the Postal Service is proud to announce the offering of an exclusive CD of 18 Elvis Presley original hits titled Elvis Forever, which includes one of those sneak peek tracks, If I Can Dream, as you've never heard it before. So you guys are going to get a first listen. So let's take a listen.
To this amazing, I think, album. It was done with heart and soul, and the reason why, just so all of you know, is that Elvis always wanted to have and perform with a 62-piece full-blown orchestra. That was his dream. When he was in Vegas, he had a small orchestra with Joe Gershow. He would love to have had it bigger, but he gets his chance now. So this song, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about this song. It goes with what you say, Mayor Wharton and the Pastor Smith, which is beautiful. That was a wonderful passage. Elvis loved this song because we were going through a very, very sad time in the 60s. We had lost Martin Luther King, Robert Kennedy, obviously President Kennedy. And this song resonated to him, and it was a plea for peace. It was a plea for everyone getting together. The song was written by Earl Brown for, as you know, many of you may know, but the '68 special. And the writer talked to Elvis and asked a little bit about how he felt, where we were today, where he is today. The '68 special was, again, a comeback for him. And when he told him about all of this, Earl Brown wrote this song in one night. So it goes along with what you're saying, and of course, you know very well in all of your speeches that he's hit home with you, and you just nailed it on the head, Mayor Wharton. So I just wanted to give you a little bit of the reason why. And now it's bigger, and it's got the beautiful Royal London Philharmonic Orchestra. That's pretty. Any Brits here? Yeah. Okay, any over here? Well, then they know what I'm talking about. This, you can't get any better than that, right? It's a beautiful album. The song choices are really the choices that he chose, and very, very, very hand-picked songs. I do hope all of you enjoy it. I mean, I think it was a masterpiece of what they did. It's his original track. The master's track, so it still has the band there, and it still has the singers, but it has a feeling of richness to the fullest degree. So if you get a chance, pick it up. It comes out in, I think, November. Thank you, everyone. And again, thank you so much, again, for the beautiful stamp.
We love you!
Thank you, Priscilla. It's going to be such an elegant, beautiful album. Those of us that have gotten to take a sneak peek, thank you for spending so much time on the project, and thank you to the Brain Trust at Sony for working with Priscilla and allowing Elvis's dream to finally happen.